morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. This is Elaine with Anabellas, and this is my episode of Tuesday Tidbits. I am so happy that you're here and choosing to spend a little bit of time with me this morning. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you found me. I hope that you will take a moment and look up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and click that notification bell. That will simply notify you when I have a new video released or I have some good news to share. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I really enjoy our time together. And today, Tuesday Tidbits, I want to share with you different places where you can purchase cross-stitch patterns. Now, obviously, you know, I own Anabellas, and Anabellas is a cross-stitch quilting and paper crafting shop. We are primarily on Etsy, and we also have our own website at anabellas.net. And I've been cross-stitching probably for, I don't know, let's see, do I tell you how old I am? So maybe 50 years. No, not even. Maybe 48 years. I don't know, a long time. And over the years, I have collected some cross-stitch leaflets and magazines, you know, that my Aunt Millie, who taught me how to stitch, gifted to me over the years. And if you've watched any of my previous episodes, you might have heard me mention her name, and also heard me mention that my husband Terry tends to, when we move from home to home, some of my things go missing. So over the years, I've had to replace a lot of the leaflets that my aunt purchased for me. So what I want to do today is I just want to give you some tidbits about, you know, some beautiful cross-stitch charts and patterns. By the way, those words are interchangeable. That you can find, you know, out and about. I do have an Amazon store. So I spent this morning going onto my Amazon shop to make it easy for you. I've added a lot of what I'm going to show you today right in my Amazon shop. So the link is below. It is on Amazon, and it's simply called Anabellas. So you can certainly go there and search for some of the things I'm going to show you. So let me tell you about the olden days in cross-stitch. So back in the olden days, and I'm going to reference, say, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there were quite a few companies that put out either monthly cross-stitch magazines or they printed cross-stitch patterns, which back in the day they called leaflets. So I'm going to share with you right now 4 of the most common ones that were prevalent back then, as well as reference the names so that when you go to the Amazon shop, you can find them. So let me start with Leisure Arts. Leisure Arts was a very, very popular publisher of some of these great cross-stitch patterns. So what you'll find is that a leaflet, look at how inexpensive they were, $3.50. I don't think you're going to find it for $3.50. But back in the day, you were able to purchase this leaflet, and inside, you know, the charts are in color. You get a complete design, a complete chart to complete every single one of the designs. So this is an example of what you would find in this particular leaflet. All of these little tiny Christmas ornaments that you can make. So, you know, Leisure Arts, like I said, was very popular. They've got so many timeless cross-stitch patterns, whether they're Christmas related or holiday related or everyday related. So feel free to check out Leisure Arts. Excuse me. Let me get a sip. Another really popular designer and cross-stitch pattern creator was Burdett Publications. This is one of my favorites. This is called Christmas Miniatures. And this Dale Burdett was the designer and the teacher. This is in black and white. This particular booklet comes from 1983. So I think I had been married 1 year back then. No, I hadn't even gotten married yet. But these are all black and white charts, but all the called for floss and colors are there. And then this is an example of all of the different little charts that are included in this leaflet. And I just love this little duck. Isn't she just adorable? So you have a duck, a train, a stove, some teddy bears, just adorable. So Burdette Publications, you'll find quite a few leaflets that I've selected for you to go ahead and take a peek at. Then Better Homes and Gardens, which I'm sure you've all heard of. Better Homes and Gardens did a few things. They published magazines, they published leaflets, and they published books. So when you go to the Amazon shop, you'll simply see Better Homes and Gardens, and I've gone ahead and put everything in that section. So this is just a magazine. Now, when you search for Better Homes and Gardens, you can search for Better Homes and Gardens magazine, cross-stitch magazines, and then just the magazines will come up. But here is just a magazine, and of course, it's filled with, you know, free, well, they're included cross-stitch designs, as well as, you know, very in-depth and intricate cross-stitch patterns. Look at that beautiful stocking. So this magazine, of course, has that full chart. And then, of course, there are other designs included. So I would say, you know, look at the beautiful winter cardinals. So if you search for Better Homes and Gardens cross-stitch Christmas magazines, you'll limit it even more, and then you'll be able to find this. And this particular edition has 103 projects, so that's just great. And again, it was $3.50, so don't shoot me when you get onto the shop and you find out they're quite a bit more than that. But just, I love having these in my stash, in my hen den. I go in there and I curl up on my pink and white sofa, and, you know, have a hot cup of tea, and I really enjoy just flipping through these and picking out, you know, little smalls or little things that I can make, you know, for my friends or for my family as I start to think about stitching. Our cross-stitch Christmas week, which we do every third week of the month, just wrapped up. But maybe what I'll do is next month when we do cross-stitch Christmas week, maybe we can all work on one of these little charts that are in some of these publications. They're very, very cute. And then here's another example of Better Homes and Gardens. This particular booklet is called And Country Crafts. So this was in 1992, and this was $3.95, so there was a price increase. And you can see in here, you know, that you'll get, you know, quite a few charts. Look at that. Isn't that just stunning? You'll get quite a few charts, you know, and some of them are in color and some of them are in, you know, black and white. But these are just wonderful. And there's so many beautiful designers that created all of these that have since retired or no longer stitch, or the company they designed for, like Better Homes and Gardens, no longer does any publications, so to speak. Now, let me see if they do any books. I don't have any books for them. The other thing I wanted to share with you is magazines. So I showed you some older publications, but here are 3 magazines that I subscribe to, whether they're monthly or quarterly, that I really enjoy. The first is, and we carry all of these at Anabella's shop, so you'll be able to get these when they're out in our Etsy shop. This is Just Cross Stitch magazine. I just happened to pull one from Christmas last year. Just Cross Stitch does a publication. You can actually subscribe and receive it at your home, or you can just buy the ones you want at Anabella's when we have them available. But we do carry all of the Just Cross Stitch magazines, so that you can, you know, go ahead and grab them. These are great. These are obviously more current designs. So these charts, as you can see, you know, don't have a lot of back stitching. Back in the day, like I said, in the 80s and 90s, back stitching was just, you know, part of the pain. It's not my favorite thing to do. Who can say they love back stitching? Some people do. I'm getting used to it. You know, I've got some beautiful full coverage kits that I really want to start on. And, you know, sadly or not, many of them have a lot of back stitching. But as you can see, you know, without back stitching, they're just as lovely. So there's just some beautiful, beautiful charts that are available when you subscribe to some of these. Look at the Christmas elf, isn't he adorable? When you subscribe to these magazines. So that's Just Cross Stitch magazine. Now, the world of cross-stitching, this is Britain's #1 cross-stitch magazine. And this comes out, I believe, every 2 months. And it's a little more expensive, you know, than the Just Cross-Stitch magazine. But I have to tell you, the charts are simply gorgeous. And, you know, for me as a both, you know, someone who loves to cross stitch and a shop owner, you know, I want to make sure that I'm up to date on the latest trends that come out. And they have some wonderful, wonderful designs, but they also feature in each edition a cross-stitch designer that's currently designing. So you're able to, you know, get a lot of information on the particular designer, as well as sometimes, you know, a chart that they've created for this particular edition. So highly recommend it. This is called The World of Cross-Stitching. And then last but not least is Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. We carry this every time that it comes out. This is not the most recent edition. This was the summer issue last year. I'm sold out of the most recent edition, but another one will be coming out in the next month or two. These are done 4 times a year. So this is summer. Spring just came out, and now we'll have another summer one coming out. But Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine includes both cross-stitch designs and punch needle designs. So if you like to do punch needle or you like to do cross-stitch, you'll be able to, you know, really, really enjoy this magazine. And there's also very frequently tutorials on finishing. Whether it's Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, or and I think I said that correctly, or another person, you know, that does finishing. I'm sorry, here she is. It is the Twisted Stitcher. So Vonna, for this particular edition, did a finishing tutorial. So just really great. These are wonderful to have. I keep them all in my stash in my hen den and refer to them frequently. So there you go. Okay, and then last what I want to show you as a little tidbit are cross-stitch books. Now, these are a little bit more expensive. This is more of an investment. I'm going to first show you a book that came out last year. We do carry these every year when they come out. This particular book is called A Cross-Stitch Christmas. It's by Handcrafted Holidays, Craftways. So I just love these books. This one came out in 2021. We did carry them in the shop, and we always will carry them. But just look at it. It is just simply beautiful. This book is filled with beautiful cross-stitch designs. I can't show you the chart, so I gotta flip frequently. Let me see. Just beautiful, beautiful designs. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? So I invest in this every year for myself because I just love having these on my coffee table in my house, in my hen den. So these actually sit out all year long on my coffee table in my hen den. And again, you know, I just love to sit down and, you know, go through them and plan in my mind and in my my journal what I plan to stitch in the coming months ahead. So I'm showing you a lot of Christmas because that is primarily what a lot of these publications are focused on, because they don't come out monthly. They come out, you know, seasonally. So there you go. So A Cross Stitch Christmas, we will carry these as they come out this year as well. Then what I want to share with you are other publications that you can now go back and purchase. You might want to consider making an investment in one of these books or many of these books if you like the traditional look of some of the designs that are in these books. So I have 3 publications that I've put into the Amazon shop. One is Better Homes and Gardens. The other is Leisure Arts. And the third is Cooler Designs. Each has a different style. So let me start with Better Homes and Gardens. This is Better Homes and Gardens, Handmade Treasures, A Cross Stitch Christmas. And this particular book was published in 1995. And it is beautiful. it is filled with just timeless, beautiful cross-stitch patterns, both small and large. See? And I just really am drawn to some of the more traditional cross-stitch patterns. You know, these designers who have now, you know, fallen by the wayside, you know, it's sad because cross-stitch kind of, you know, took a hiatus for many years where there wasn't a lot of people drawn to the craft. And over the past few years, I think primarily since COVID, we're really seeing an upsurge in people coming back to cross-stitch or learning how to cross-stitch. So as my tidbit, you know, I just wanted to make sure if you're new to cross-stitching or if you've kind of just forgotten about this, that I give you an opportunity to, you know, kind of remember that, you know, you might have to go back in time to find some really, really stunning, beautiful patterns that you can, you know, consider stitching. This one is just gorgeous. This is a jewelry roll, brooch, and earrings. And look at the beads. They're so beautiful. And a lot of things that are in these books, let me just make sure to point that out, they're not necessarily, you know, just for advanced cross-stitchers. They can be for beginner cross-stitchers too. So, you know, if you're a beginner, don't be afraid to purchase one of these books. Look at the little ones. Aren't they sweet? So just lots and lots of pretty, pretty designs. So this, again, you'll find all the Better Homes and Gardens books in a category as a standalone. Then leisure arts. I went ahead and also created a category for leisure arts. This is my Christmas keepsakes. And this publication came out in 1990. My daughter was 2. So I think I was very poor back then. So Aunt Millie would send me one of these books every year. Whenever they came out, she would send me these books. And my husband and I, you know, we were, I've said it before, I'm not embarrassed to say it, we were pretty poor as church mice back then. Because after we adopted our daughter, I went back to work and I lasted, I don't know, a week. And that was the end of that. I quit and stayed home and, you know, have never been back to work for anyone else since. I've, you know, just kind of made my own way in business. But my daughter, you know, I would stay home and Aunt Millie would send me these books and I would run over to, I don't know what it was called, the Five and Dime. I don't know where I went to find some of my, you know, fabric and floss. I think it was Ben Franklin's. I mean, oh my God, am I dating myself or what? I think it was Ben Franklin's, actually. It was in the little public shopping center. And I would go over there and take my little book with me and I would pick out, you know, just some little designs. I did a lot of these. And I would stitch them up. And that is how I decorated our tree and how I spent my free time when I had free time, because we quickly then adopted our daughter Charlene, and then right after her came Andrew. So I had, you know, 3 kids under 3 for, you know, a long time, little ones. But these books are just very, very special to me. And, you know, part of what I like to do is I like to share with you things that are special to me. You know, they may not be special to you, but, you know, I want to, you know, just give you some tidbits about some sources other than, you know, the local needlework shop, which may not be able to carry these things. Not that you shouldn't go there, you should. But, you know, there are other sources of beautiful cross-stitch patterns that, you know, you can find in these books that came into my life, and now I want to share with all of you. This is just, I just can't even. I just want to go home now and stitch this, right? So, isn't it just beautiful? Look at these angels. Oh, look at that. It says, hello, little ones. I'm coming to see you Christmas Eve. So go to bed early after hanging up your stocking. Yours truly, Santa. So there you go. Just some really gorgeous, gorgeous designs. So you'll find all of the leisure arts books in the Amazon shop. And then last but not least is another publisher of cross-stitch books. This is Cooler Design Studio. Now, Better Homes and Gardens put out the book, but Cooler Design Studio is who the designer is. And I've put a separate category in the shop so that you can find this. And again, that's the Amazon shop, not Etsy. This is Cooler Design Studio. This is a gorgeous book. Look at that Christmas stocking. And I believe I did have these books that I was able to put into the shop, so you'll be able to see them there. But let me show you some of these. This is another book from 1992, and this is all Christmas stockings. So, Vonna Pfeiffer, again, I'm mentioning her again, the Twisted Stitcher, she on her most recent floss tube, Vonna pointed out that she had started stitching a stocking, or had completed stitching a stocking by Shepherd's Bush for her husband, and that she had also started one for herself. And I absolutely, I carry Shepherd's Bush in our shop, but I never actually paused, looked at it, and said, oh, I want to stitch that. But after I saw Vonna's work, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to make one for Terry, and then I need to make one for myself. So I did. I went ahead and kitted up a stocking for him. I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to kit up mine and do mine. And I am going to do both of those in Shepherd's Bush. But I have 5 grandchildren now, and I thought, let me do some stockings for them. And although I love Shepherd's Bush for Terry and I kept coming back to this book to think about what kind of stockings can I make for my grandchildren. And some of these are just so bright and so colorful. I just think, wow, wouldn't this be great to make for, one of these for each of the boys, and then, find pretty ones for the girls. So let me show you. There's so many things in here. Look how simple this is. It's just a stocking, and just the band is cross-stitched, right? And then, there's some quilting material here on the toe. But this book is going to give you the tutorial, as you can see here, on how to go ahead and complete the stocking. They also give you the alphabet so that you can personalize them. But then there's just some beautiful, beautiful stockings in here. And like I said, this whole book is Christmas stockings. And here's another one with the cardinals. And again, it's just the very top of the stocking. Look at that. So, oops. Let me see if I can find a couple girl ones. Oh, and there's some pillowcases. I love doing pillowcases. There's cats, Christmas kitty. Look at this for baby's first Christmas. And you can switch it out in blues or in pinks. So again, just some things for you to think about as far as where you can source some beautiful patterns that you can add to your stash. These books are great. And again, this is Cooler Designs. So to recap, I've shown you Cooler Design books, Leisure Arts, and Better Homes and Gardens. And then I also showed you the most recent, which is by Craftways, Handcrafted Holidays. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you got a little bit of something, some food for thought about different sources for you to find, cross-stitch designs and charts that you really, fall in love with. And then if you want to look at some of the very, very traditional cross-stitch patterns that were made back in the 80s and 90s, these are the publications that I personally have enjoyed over the years. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. I will be back on Friday with our regular floss tube. Until then, be happy, be well, and most of all, be kind. See you soon. Bye.